I do remember ending up in the sea, skinny dipping, clearly had my like massive beer blanket on.
Well, I have had some wild times in Deauville, actually.
Have you? That doesn't surprise me. And people do really let the wheels off.
I woke up and I just remember being covered in Kinder Bueno. Not in like a sexual sense.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of the second season of Running Loose. My name's Francesca Kamani.
And I'm Vanessa Ryle.
And we are again at Lodge Farm Stud. If you hear any funny noises, I think the farrier's just arrived and the odd bit of whinnying here and there. Vanessa, we've got a really important task this week.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
The blind tasting.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. No, I'm here for that. Sorry, I'm here for that.
Episode 1 of the season?
Yeah, when we were up at Edinburgh Gin.
At Edinburgh Gin, who are kindly sponsoring us. And we were just talking about how to make the perfect gin and tonic. So obviously Edinburgh Gin plus a tonic and maybe a garnish of orange peel or lime, whatever. But I said I used Schweppes in mine. Vanessa said, oh no, Fever Tree only. So then I thought, well, we can only do a blind tasting to work out if she knows her Fever Trees from her Schweppes. Now I'm afraid we should have really a third tonic to really confuse things. But are you ready for a tasting?
Yeah, I'm nervous though, because I think I'm going to come out of this so foolishly, because anybody who watches back that reel, I'm like so disgusted at her thinking that Schweppes was the answer.
How do you make your gin and tonic at home? Obviously with Edinburgh Gin, but
yeah,
what kind of tonic? Are you a slimline? Are you a Schweppes?
I actually am, no, not Schweppes.
Oh, I love Schweppes.
Really?
Yeah. Really? What do you Fever
no.
Tree? I bet you're a posh Fever Tree.
I'm a
lady.
Fever Tree gal.
Please don't say slimline as well.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, well I did this once with different lagers. You know how they're branded and some look more appealing than others?
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I never drink that one. And then my husband put 3 in front of me. And did I get it right? No. Right. Okay. So here's the first one.
So
if you're
hang
watching,
on, just to be clear,
if you're not watching,
she knows what they are basically. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
I may have been a bit heavy-handed on the gin front.
Yeah.
Which one am I going to give you first? Okay, that one. There's a bit of lime in there. There's a good bit of ice. A couple of fingers of gin. And then a tonic, which Vanessa's going to tell us which one it is. I've just gone in for a second sip. There's a nice bit of rim of lemon around the line, around the edge. Yeah. You can't have a gin and tonic without rimming. Okay, so that's sample 1. Here's sample 2. They both look the same. They both sound the same. They both feel the same. Is she going to guess which she prefers?
I'm actually just getting a lot of gin. It's really quite strong.
Have I thrown you off with a lot of Edinburgh Gin? Right, I want to try that now. Okay. Is it distinct? Like,
I think they both taste a lot of Edinburgh Gin. I think that that one is the Schweppes.
And you are correct.
Am I?
Damn it.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Although, I think it was a bit of an unfair tasting because this was a big bottle of Schweppes.
Yeah.
In a plastic bottle, and that was a can, a Fever Tree. And I always think the little individual cans are much better than a big bottle.
They are. I would agree with that. And I would also say, because that's been opened longer.
Yeah.
Which I think is a factor. But thank God. Yes. That could
you got it right. You got it right. Yeah. So you can carry on your snobbery about
Which one
Fever
do you
Tree.
prefer?
I'm trying this one now.
And also, actually, because your friend asked us, what nibbles do you have? I mean, it's such a random start to the show. What nibbles do you have with a gin and tonic? And my heaven, right? My heaven is to sit out in my garden with a large gin and tonic, now obviously of course Edinburgh Gin only, and just a plain salted, good like Tyrrell's or Kettle Crisp. This just no flavour.
Really?
Heaven.
What I will say is they're not as good as the gin and tonics they made us at Edinburgh Gin, which is annoying because we really need to nail the home crafted ultimate gin and tonic. Although we need the peel of orange. That was really good.
That helped,
zest.
yeah.
But in terms of snacks, you like a plain furrowed.
Yeah, I do. That would be my choice. I was in Waitrose. You don't even eat snacks, do you? Do you have snacks? Are you a snacky person?
Yeah. Oh, I'm a real crisp muncher. All my friends know that's my like.
Can I just ask actually, on a genuine note, like, do you really watch what you eat?
Yes and no. So I try and be careful about, because actually not necessarily for like image purposes, but I feel better if I just don't have too many carbs. And I feel like sugar is bad for you generally. Like they've done loads of studies on cancer and stuff, and sugar is really bad for that. And I feel like heavy if I have a big carby breakfast, so I try and kind of stick to the more like protein-based things. And I don't tend to eat much during the day, mainly because I'm busy wrangling children. But then when my husband's there in the evening, I really kind of go in heavy for the evening meal.
And do you do any fitness? Do you do any?
No. As evidenced by the fact that the other day, this was actually right after Ascot. So I got home from Ascot at midnight on the Saturday night after 5 long, hot, sweaty, hard-working days on the telly. And the following day, children up at 6 o'clock, great. Luckily, other half does the very early shift, which is good. He's like, yeah, let's go for a bike ride. Okay, let's go for a bike ride. But Max's idea of a bike ride is more like a bike marathon. Yeah, he did an Ironman.
Yeah.
So we pile all the kids on. I have a kid on the back of my bike. Max has got one on the trailer on the back of his bike. 9-year-old, luckily, on his own bike. But the way to the pub was all quite downhill. The way back from the pub was all uphill. And I was
That's the way that tends to work, by the way.
Well, yeah, I wish it was the other way around. I was 2 pints in by this stage. And the bike back, I was cursing a lot.
Right.
That wasn't much fun. So no, I'm not very fit. Like, not aerobically fit, but I have a very, like,
so you just won
lifestyle.
the, like, gene pool lottery, basically.
I am quite lucky on that.
Yeah.
Front. I really need to work on my abs, though. I found that Ascot a lot.
Abs. I've got an ab.
Have you?
One.
Oh,
High
which
up
one?
to the right. I don't know whether it's a popped rib or an ab.
Yeah.
But there's definitely...
or a hernia.
Yeah, or a hernia, yeah. There's definitely some form of definition on the right-hand side of my stomach.
That's good.
Not on the left, high up on the right.
Eli must be very proud. 1 down.
Very
How many
proud.
to go? 5 to go.
5 to go.
No, I'm not even anywhere near getting an ab. It's just that my abs split having babies, which they do. They kind of open up. And 3 babies down, and I don't think there's any chance of them ever... Well, I better consult Eli to see what I need to do to get them back together again.
Eli's the man.
Because yeah. Anyway, how about you? Do you watch it very carefully? Because you've
well,
lost a lot of weight recently,
Lost a
haven't
lot of weight, yeah. Lost a lot of weight. It's been
long?
quite a talking point, that, you know. And it's funny how, like, you know, it is a weird thing, and now I'm talking about it on a podcast, so it's even weirder. But it's quite a personal thing that you do, but it's so unpersonal because you're out in I'm on telly, like I'm out in the public all the time.
So people comment a lot.
So people comment on it. People notice
Which is
it.
funny because had you put on a lot of weight, people would go,
say anything.
"Oh, geez,
yeah,
you put on a lot of weight."
I know, and it's a strange thing, and it's strange. You know, I've never been good at taking a compliment anyway. So, you know, I'm one of those people who would often take the piss out of myself, and I love taking the piss out of other people. That's kind of like my MO, if you hadn't already noticed.
Yeah,
it's just a funny thing because how it's, you know, when somebody comes up to you and says, you look great, you've lost a lot of weight, and some people are that direct about it. Most people just say, you look great, or have you been working out, a bit less direct. But, you know, some people will just say, oh, you've lost a lot of weight. And how it feels is like, how dreadful did I look before?
Do you think?
And that's sad. Like, and I know I didn't look dreadful before, but I know I look better now. It's just a really weird dynamic.
But the sad fact is that people generally do look better if they're if not thin, but like.
Well, I just feel
fit.
Eli's been a huge factor. So I go to the PT twice a week, and then I try and work out now once more a week away from like without him. So 3 workouts a week, and it's all weights that I do with him. It's all that sort of work, and then obviously ride the horse, walk a lot. Like I would never do less than 15,000 steps a day.
Really?
Yeah, I walk the dogs kind of on a 5k loop twice a day at a minimum.
Wow.
I say that like it's a hard line. Royal Ascot week dropped down to 9,000 steps a day. It's still plenty in
high heels.
You know, in my high heels.
And wait, did you do it because you felt like you had to, like pressure from external forces? Or
No, not at all. My little weight loss story. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, go on.
It's like a personal share, but I actually don't mind. I don't mind sharing it because a couple of people I've told it to before have come up to me since and been like, oh, it really inspired me. So it's just like the very short version is I went to a great wedding in Italy. I was invited on my own, a bit lastminute.com, didn't know anyone else there. Went on the Amalfi Coast, had this wonderful time. It was class. And I woke up in the morning after the wedding and I was a bit hungover. It was back in 2023. And, you know, bearing in mind, I was never...
plastic bags on the way to the airport this time.
No, thank God. Not quite that bad, but I was quite hungover. But I was staying on my own. And I woke up, went down to the beach, lying on the beach. And I thought, wow, like what a life you lead. Like so lucky, great friends, great people, great opportunities. And then a little voice in my head said, what would you change? If you could change this moment right now, what would you change? And I remember the Fleetwood Mac song I was listening to and everything at the time. And the other side of my head said, I'd like myself more. I'd be slimmer and fitter. And I'd be like, I'd like myself more in that regard. And the other side of my head replied and said, so you telling me that the one thing you change is the one thing you're capable of changing? It's not that you'd have a boyfriend. It's not that you'd be richer or more successful or any of those things. The one thing you change is the one thing you're capable of changing yourself. And I just had this like total light bulb moment. And I came home, that was at the end of May in 2023, and I came home and I've basically been on a weight loss journey ever since.
And enjoyed it? Found it hard?
Found it hard, yeah. Like, you know, it's not easy when you're social. I drink, I eat, I like food, and I'm really social. not in the sort of like crazy obsessive way, but it is true that, you know, that saying Kate Moss said, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Now that's an extreme comment, but nothing tastes as good as feeling good. And, you know, being able to walk into,
better.
I feel $1 million. I get up in the morning and I fancy myself. I mean, I look at myself in the mirror now with my one little ab popping. Could be a hernia, might not be.
How long do you spend admiring yourself in the mirror?
Oh, loads of time.
Do
yeah. I get up, I live on my own, so I wake up in my pants and my underwear, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, holy mother of God. Yeah. And it's just great. Like, is there a better feeling?
That is true.
I don't know. You can be, you know, you've worked hard for it. You can be honest about it.
Yeah,
That's the thing as well.
Right.
Is like, I don't like the gym. I don't like working out. I don't like Eli. No offense, pal, but like, I don't like him, and I've paid a fortune for it as well. Yeah. But the result is worth it.
Yeah, well
and also, I mean, I joke about it like that. It's changed loads of things in my life. It's changed how confident I was. Always really confident personality-wise, but now on television, just the way I hold myself, the way I am, not worried about where the camera angle might be. But previously, I'd have been like, oh, don't stand at that angle, or oh God, do I look fat there, or you know. Whereas now, I'm like, hold your camera wherever you want, take whatever photo of me you like, because I like myself.
Yeah, well, you look great for it. Well
Thanks.
done.
Anyway, that was
well
that little
diversion.
diversion.
I like your top. Where's that from?
Oh, this.
For people listening, Vanessa's wearing very kind of jazzy little gilet. It's kind of a quilted gilet, would we say? With
it is a bit quilted. Yeah. With a shirt underneath. But the gilet, which is a real one-off piece, is actually from the market in Deauville.
Oh, I love the market in Deauville.
Yeah, how cool.
The market in Deauville is awesome.
Yeah. Actually, that's my favourite racing trip of the year.
Wait, what takes you there?
Social. The gin and tonic.
Oh wait, so not
Jolly.
for work?
No, so Deauville in August is the big racing month there, and they have their sale in the middle of August, their yearling sale, and that's the big social weekend to go to Deauville racing and for the social. Originally, when I used to produce for Sky Sports, I produced and presented a show called the Bloodstock Show. And Arcana actually sent me. They paid for us to go over there. I think I don't know if they paid, but anyway, we went over there. and We did a feature, and I just fell in love with the place.
It's stunning, isn't it?
A, it's stunning. B, it's wild. I mean, the wheels come off.
So for anyone who hasn't been, it's a coastal town in Normandy, so like at the top of France, and I think it was one of those real old-fashioned holiday destinations. It's like got lovely buildings. It's got a casino. It's got the seaside.
Where people say it's where like the Parisians. Posh Parisians would have a second home in Deauville, sort of thing.
And it is lovely. The only negative sometimes is the weather.
Can be very hit and miss. I've been on the beach there and in raincoats, so that can be hit and miss. But in August, there's loads of polo, loads of show jumping there, and then obviously the racing as well. And of all the racing trips I go on, I mean, not like on loads of international racing trips, but the trips away, that's the one.
It's
and
really
so
fun.
then ever since, so we went and did the feature there, and I just fell in love with it. And all my friends go, loads of industry people go, some half working, some not, some trainers, partner, you know, that gang.
Yeah.
And so now I just make an effort to go, and I bought this there last year.
Yeah, it's cute.
That
It's a great
market.
market. It's really cheap and like amazing food as well. Oh God, you just
unbelievable. I have had some wild times in Deauville actually.
Have you? That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it's just like the
how wild. We're a podcast content.
Definitely some of them not podcast content. Okay, just disgrace myself generally. I've had some really fun dinners there. Met some really fun people. I sat next to Teddy Grimthorpe, Lord Grimthorpe, at a dinner there years ago. And at the time, I wanted to get a greyhound, and he was the one who said, "You've got to contact Sir Mark Prescott."
Oh yeah.
And so when I got home, I obviously name dropped Teddy Grimthorpe as saying that he was the man, And so Mark had me around for a cup of tea, and since then, me and him have kind of been friends. And he sorted me out with a greyhound, and that was through Lord Grimthorpe. And I remember chatting to Lord Grimthorpe, Lord Teddy, whatever you want to call him, at that dinner. And I was really young, and I wasn't young. I was like in my mid-20s, and I was telling him about all the sort of outrageous things me and my friends were getting up to, and the outrageous stories and all that sort of stuff. And I remember him saying to me, the funny thing is you think your generation think that you're the first to ever have done all these things, but the joke being that my generation has done, we've been all before you. You just think that you're more outrageous than us, but you're not.
That's so true.
All rinse and repeat stuff.
That's so true.
And it really stuck with me, because it's probably even worse back then in his,
Yeah, and people do really let the wheels off, is that the right expression?
Let the wheels off, yeah.
Let the handbrake off, whatever. In Deauville, like people that you see generally in the racing year, and somehow when they get to Deauville, then it all goes a bit wild.
Something about the sea air just goes to your head.
Yeah, the kind of holiday
I woke
vibe.
up one day, I must have been so drunk, but I woke up and I just remember being covered in Kinder Bueno.
Oh God!
Like,
hang on, is this PG? Where's
sorry,
this going?
no, that's the end of the story.
Bueno.
Not in like a sexual sense, as in I was very much alone, but I'd obviously got in and decided to eat a load of those like Kinder
I
Bueno,
love a Kinder
little
Bueno.
truffle things.
Oh no, the round
ones,
I like
yeah.
the bars.
Oh, I love the bars
Yeah,
too,
too.
but the round ones that come in like the individual wrappers.
Oh yeah.
And I like there was probably 40 wrappers, and just like Bueno was just stuck to me everywhere. I just remember being like, this must be one of the lowest moments of my current life. Any Deauville anecdotes?
Well, going back a long way, ages ago, I do remember ending up in the sea, skinny dipping with some fairly high-profile industry figures.
Oh, nice, nice.
Well, one being a very good friend of mine, another one probably shouldn't be named. After a dinner, and I think we were all in Regine, you know, the nightclub.
Yeah, of course.
And then it was obviously very hot and sweaty, and we decided to go for a swim in the sea in the middle of the night, which was quite fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chilly as well. No, I've not done that.
Yeah, but I clearly had my like massive beer blanket on. I couldn't tell
Beer blanket.
because it was like, oh, this is fun. Let's go skinny dipping.
I think it was Regine's that I was in once, and I remember turning round and seeing Christophe Soumillon bust some moves on a dance floor. I mean, he has got moves.
Oh, that's cool.
I hope it was him, because if it wasn't, that's embarrassing. But I'm pretty sure it was. And I just remember thinking, wow, like, he has got rhythm.
Quite cool. A guy that can dance is quite attractive, isn't it?
Oh my God. A guy that can dance, let me just be clear here. A guy that can dance goes up 2 points. So I have a ranking system for men. Shall I just go into this now? What?
As I practically snort my gin and tonic through my nose.
So I have a system, right? Yeah, here's why. So you rate everyone 0 to 10, obviously. 10s don't exist because they're unicorns. They're not real, because your 10 and my 10 are different things. So 10s don't exist. Very rare you see a 0. Let's just be honest. So because everybody's got something positive about them. So you don't see 0s, you don't see 10s. You need to rate yourself. This is how I used to think when I was younger. Okay. I don't think this now, but this was always our rating system in our gang.
Okay.
So you need to rate yourself, and then essentially your bracket should be 2 up or 2 down. Okay. So you're fucked because you're an 8, and so you can't go up to a 10.
I know 10's not available. What about 9?
You can be a 9. I just didn't want to be too kind.
You know,
but 9, you're even more.
Give me a 9.
But 9, you're really hammered. So basically, it's like I was a 6. I'm now an 8. But I was a 6 at the time of this system being in place. And so if you're a 6, you can go up to an 8 or down to a 4. So you've got mass capacity. You're at mass capacity there.
Okay. Whereas if you're a 9, you can't
being
go
an 8
up.
or a 9, whatever you want to judge yourself as. I mean, you're absolutely fucked. You've got nowhere to go. Like the proportion of people is so small. Anyway, I always say that different factors take you up and down. So, you know, you rate yourself fine, and then you meet someone, you're like, they're a 7. Oh, they can dance. They're an 8. Yeah, straight up to an 8. They're funny. 8s. You know? They say they pronounce words wrong, down to a 4.
They wear a t-shirt under their shirt.
Quite.
How many do they get knocked off for that?
Just they're off the list completely.
Really? Even if they're an absolute babe?
No, probably not. But they probably do get a minus point. But you get how my
They
system
get a
used to work.
re-education.
Anyway, just to be clear, that system is not how you should live your life, and that system is not how I should live my life, because I'm in my 30s and very single. So that rating system is actually terrible. But anyway, yeah, we digress. But Christophe Soumillon, 6, goes up to a 7 because he can dance.
He's quite cool.
There you go.
He is quite cool. I do like him.
Getting back on track with a bit of racing chat. So Deauville is top of my racing list of trips through the summer.
Yeah.
Where are we going for your trips through the summer? Like, where do you enjoy going? Do you go on any?
So what was
that Italian trip?
Oh yes.
Some people go to that big Italian race day and say it's
Merano.
class. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a race day in Merano, which is actually a jumps race meeting.
I've never been, but
in September, and it's a lovely, lovely place. It's right in the mountains, in the Dolomites. And funny enough, one of the races they have on the card is a race for Haflinger ponies. Have you seen a Haflinger?
No way. There's
you don't know what a Haflinger is, look it up.
Things.
Yeah, but they're from there. So you drive through Haflinger on your way to the races. These little, like, blondie ponies. They're very cute.
You're a fountain of knowledge.
I know. And so I've been the last couple of years for the Gran Premio di Merano jumps race meeting, and I did it on the telly for Italian TV. Which was interesting.
I think I remember you telling me about this, because you're obviously back to your Italian roots, just speaking in Italian.
And I can speak Italian, but not like TV level racing analyst commentary Italian. So I basically go there and I make up a few words. And they're quite like, so my co-presenter basically always has a bottle of champagne like sat at your feet. So throughout the afternoon just tipping a new fresh glass of champagne, and you have a delicious kind of bowl of pasta before you go on, and it's
course, it's
very
so
relaxed.
very
And they said to
Italian
me, they
as
were like,
well.
well, we're on air at 1:00. Okay, so I get there like 1:45. I'm like, right, do you want to like mic me up and blah blah blah. And then we sit there at 1:00. And I'm like, and then like nothing happens. I'm like, are we going on air? And they're like, oh yeah, they'll come to us soon. They'll come to us soon. Must have been about 1:15 by the time they came to us. It was all very loose, but very fun. Very beautiful place. I definitely recommend going. And actually, a lot of race meetings in Italy have massively lost significance and traction and prize money and everything. Whereas that is the one that the community around Merano really put a lot of emphasis into making it happen. I can't actually go this year, annoyingly, because it's the same weekend as Sarah's wedding. Sarah Byrne, stylist. Yeah, so that's the plan for then. But I might go for a different race meeting in August. So that is lovely.
That's on my hit list, definitely. Add that to the hit list.
But we should just state what's coming up throughout the summer, because I know a lot of attention is on Royal Ascot as the kind of midsummer highlight. But I feel like a point of difference to the jumps racing is that we, after Ascot, have lots of things to still look forward to. So you have July week at Newmarket, which is
just around the corner now.
Which is just around the corner. And then after that, probably the next big one is Goodwood. 5 days at the end of July, early August.
Goodwood is one of those race meetings that I've just never got on board with.
What?
I know.
You are really missing out.
I know, it's just so far away from my house.
No, it's not. It's much further away from my house. What are you on about?
Well, no, it's miles away from your house, yeah, sorry. But the point being, I don't know. Do you not have... No, you don't, because you're on the kind of ITV thing. But you have race meetings that, I don't know, just somehow, whether it be socially or work-wise, just become part of your calendar and you don't miss it.
Well, your calendar needs to change and you need to incorporate Goodwood. Because Goodwood is way up there on my list of favourites, because it's in a beautiful part of the country.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
stunning.
only once before, and it absolutely lashed it down.
It can do that. It's quite rare, and that the odd sea fret comes in, and at that point you can't see any horse or any of the action, so that's not great. But Goodwood on a gorgeous day, which you often get at that time of year, is stunning. Beautiful part of the country. The Goodwood estate do it so well. It's a real kind of Panama hats and strawberries and cream kind of vibe. It's more relaxed than Ascot, but still very high end.
Yeah, it also clashes obviously with Galway over in Ireland, and I know, but when I was in my younger years, Galway was always a go-to thing for me, so I would always choose Galway over Goodwood.
Okay, well, will you come to Goodwood this year?
I might try. Will you show me a good time?
I will. What about the Regency Ball? Have you been to the Regency Ball? We're planning a fun table for the Regency Ball.
Is that the one where they I've never been to it, but is that the one where they have a sort of fake horse race outside?
Yeah, the midnight steeplechase. Yeah.
Random.
Yeah. Well, it's a great way of raising money for charity.
Yeah.
And it's all linked to the Magnolia Cup, which is the race for charity race for female jockeys. And they have two horses. I can't remember what they're called. They're always called the same thing. Which is the
charity race, which is for posh women not in racing, basically.
Not always posh.
Oh, really?
No, they've changed it not changed it, but they've broadened it to kind of incorporate women from lots of different backgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did it?
Yes,
did you actually?
I did.
Yeah, because
in the early days when it was for posh women.
For posh women. Because I think Gina did it as well.
I think she didn't she?
Yeah. And Edie Campbell.
Yeah. She won it.
Another friend of mine. Did she?
I think she won it.
She won it?
I think she won it. I think she got her prize off Tom Cruise, which I was quite jealous of, because I think I may have come second.
I'll have to ask her about that.
Yeah, I think she won it.
I didn't know that.
I think she did. No, the Regency Ball, so in the middle, about midnight, you go out into the grounds of the house and they run two horses against each other in a big loop. I mean, it's not really a race. They kind of hack around. But the point is they come around and they go, right, a £50 bet.
Oh, wow.
On which,
and that's how it raises
then
money.
the winner's drawn out of a hat. So it's a good way of raising money.
That is good.
And they often have a good music act as well. So that is a good night.
What night is that?
Well, it used to be the night before that Magnolia Cup race, and then they decided that was a bad idea, and so I think they have the night off. So I'm going to say Wednesday? Thursday? Okay. I don't know. I can't remember. But
invites in the post then, obviously, so stay tuned for that.
Invites in the post. Did I tell you I nearly drowned at Goodwood last year? Well, I didn't nearly drown.
Not due to the sea threat.
Basically nearly drowned Sarah Byrne. Turns out she's not a great swimmer, more of a land mammal.
Wait, why were you swimming?
Because it was a really hot week and the friends we were staying with had a little boat, and so one evening they were like, come out, we're going to go to a little beachy bit, have a bit of a barbecue dinner, drink some rosé. It was heaven, really nice. Thing is, when we got back, it was quite late. It was like 10 o'clock at night.
You're absolutely hammered.
It was dark, quite hammered. And then they hadn't they didn't have like a tender thing to get the boat back in, so they had to go and put it on a mooring.
Yeah.
But without the tender. And so the son of the people we were staying with was like, it's fine, I'll just drive it out, park it up, and like swim back in. And Sarah and I were like, no, we can't let you do that on your own. You know, it's dark, it's late, you've had a few drinks.
And you've already told us, courtesy of Deauville, that you love getting your clothes off when drunk and getting in the sea.
No, I wasn't naked,
so,
all right.
Okay.
I did actually have my swimming costume. So we're like, no, we'll come. So we both go. Turns out we couldn't find a mooring for bloody ages.
Oh, so you're miles out.
Eventually found one, miles out, parked the boat up, hopped into the sea. We're like, right, well, we'll just swim back. What we hadn't factored in was that the current, the whole tide, was massively going out. So we basically kept swimming and didn't make up any ground. At which point we learned that Sarah's not a strong swimmer.
It's not the point to start to learn that, is it? Really?
I think she's so skinny.
Right, just imagine
buoyancy.
Francesca. Francesca with the gene pool lottery, just like, yeah, I'm fine. There's long legs.
I'm actually alright with swimming.
I bet you are. I can imagine
she's got bigger feet than you.
That's true.
And hands. You know, she should be alright.
Yeah, but like you say, no buoyancy. Nothing to keep her upright.
So then, like, within about 15 minutes, we realise that she's struggling.
Oh.
And there's quite a lot of boats parked in the marina. So she ends up, like, hanging on to the front of this boat. She's literally there, hanging on, like this, hair kind of like bedraggled like this. She's like, no, it's fine, you go, it's fine, I'll be alright, don't worry about me. She's like, you have children, you go save yourselves. It was very funny. Thankfully, a guy who was having like a drink or sitting outside on his boat heard us flailing around and was like, do you want some help?
Oh, God.
And he came and rescued us. Well, we kind of had to heave Sarah into this boat, this tiny little dinghy.
Oh, in my head, this is so romantic. It's just like a sailor's tipping up. He's had a drink. He's probably got a pipe. He's like, ooh, damsel in distress.
No, it was so good because he was like, do you want some help? We're like, yes, please. And then as he was coming over, we're like, you're our hero. He goes, I'm not very good looking. Doesn't matter. You're
about to save a life.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So that was very funny.
Oh, so you have quite a jolly time in Goodwood then.
Oh, I love it. Well, we're very lucky because we stayed with these lovely friends who have a lovely house and have a bit of fun.
Isn't it funny how some meetings just have a different vibe as well? Because like Royal Ascot, for example, if you were staying with friends, I just can't imagine that it's the sort of place that you would like even go out for a night because it's just so intense.
Yeah, well, I had
Whereas,
a really lovely
Goodwood,
invitation.
it just feels, I don't know, it's just a more relaxed vibe about it, from everything, from what's broadcast to the racing itself to just everything.
I had a lovely invitation to stay with some friends nearby at Ascot, and I just said, look, I can't because I'm not back till late. I have to leave early and I've got to study 7 races in between. It's just super antisocial. But Goodwood, we do less races, and it's such a lovely place. Everything's quite close together. There's less traffic.
Maybe I'll come this year.
Come
and have a night. I'll probably try and go with some other friends. I do have other friends, and then I could meet up with you in the evening.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
just invite myself along to these parties. Go for a swim. I'm a good swimmer actually, as you can imagine.
Yeah, there's nice beaches as well.
Yeah. Maybe I should. I'm going to engage more in Goodwood. Okay. There you go. You've sold it to me. I'll be off to Deauville. I've got a holiday going as well. Yeah,
for fun.
Yeah, I know you seem baffled by this. You can do things for fun in life.
I can't actually now.
Right.
Well, no, because I'm away. I'm away every other week for work.
Yeah, and then you have 3 children.
Yeah, I can't be like, well, see ya. I'm just off to Deauville for the week.
It's mad, isn't it? Whereas I have that freedom.
I know. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, but you've got 3 gorgeous kids.
I know.
So you know it swings and roundabouts.
I know. I did think that as one was sat on me on her little car and the other one was sat on my face last night. I was like, this is fun.
This is fun. Being a mum is fun.
I know.
No, look, there's ups and downs. There's pros and cons to both, I think.
Yeah,
the freedom I have, but you know, I'll probably die alone being eaten by a dog. Whereas like people will actually notice if you die. Do you know what I mean? Like your kids will be like, oh, we haven't heard from mum in a while. Whereas I'm just going to be found being mauled by my own terriers. Like, that's sad. But I'll have had loads of freedom.
That's true. Pros and cons.
Pros and cons, ups and downs.
Well, at least you'll be dead, so you won't know.
Nobody will know. I'll go out on a real high, let me tell you.
But also we should mention after Goodwood comes York, because just to like highlight for anyone who's thinking of going to a fun racing festival, so there's Newmarket, then there's Goodwood, and then there's York, which is a biggie at the end of August, towards the end of August. And they're all real favourites.
All 3 of those. So July week, we actually breezed past it very quickly, but that is a really fun week in
Yeah.
Newmarket and over at the July course.
Which is really quaint and
Beautiful,
lovely.
and if you get nice weather there, that's a really fun day, as far as I can tell. Then you obviously covered Goodwood onto Goodwood, and then York up in the north is like a pilgrimage for a lot of people, isn't it? That meeting, they just love it, and the Jumpmont itself can be and should be this year a class race.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to like about York. Yeah,
Big fan. Okay, what were you about to say?
I think we should do listener questions. That was
Okay.
all. We've got a lot of them.
Okay.
We asked, and we got. Here we go. You ready?
I'm not great at these questions.
No,
Go on.
you don't like
I'm
question
not great.
time.
Well,
I
it's
love
kind of
question
have to
time.
Think about things. Go on. Hit
Okay,
me.
here we go. From Neil D. Watson. Away from the telly and racing, do you both have any unusual interests or hobbies?
Unusual. Like how
I don't
unusual?
think you need to go into the detail with these questions. Just do you have any fucking hobbies?
I don't have time for hobbies.
No.
I've got children. I've got 3 children. I'm a bit of a literary buff. Love a book. Love a
Are
book.
you?
Yeah.
There you go.
And foreign films. Love foreign films.
What?
Spanish, French, Italian foreign films. Is that
Look
unusual?
at that. Yes.
Unusual. Okay.
And
that's
also,
what I like.
just you're so funny because you're like, oh, I don't know what to say. And then you come out with something like that. It's like, what?
Okay,
So
go
you
on.
read loads and you
I
love
like
a foreign
reading.
film.
I don't like a foreign film.
Wow.
Yeah, you?
Check you out. No, can't read, don't like foreign.
I gotta read the subtitles. You're like, look at that.
Too much. India Roll Millinery. Love
Yeah.
you, babe. Who would be your dream dinner party guest?
You go.
I would have Michelle Obama.
Okay.
I'd have Ronnie O'Sullivan, snooker
Right.
player, if you hadn't already known that.
Okay.
Why? I'd have my friend Emma Wood.
Okay, who's that?
She's just class.
Okay.
She's one of those people, we've all got funny friends, but she can make me laugh for hours on end,
Really?
non-stop, till that one
Oh, really?
app starts to hurt.
Okay, wait, can we just go back to Ron, the snooker player? Why?
I just think he's a great character, and I don't love loads of other sports other than horse racing, but I love high-end sports people. That mindset.
Snooker is sport.
Well, that's true, but it's more a mental game, which
Darts.
fascinates me even more, a bit like darts, yeah. But no, the mental game of snooker really fascinates me, and people with that mental strength or mental capacity to take pressure. I don't know, I think I'm always attracted to and interested by people who are the opposite of me. So like you. The opposite of me, e.g.
short,
intelligent,
boring.
no, because you're interested by something that you don't have yourself, if that makes sense. I think in life, and someone like him just having that Djokovic would be another one. I'd love to have him at a dinner table, but I think he'd be a spicy customer.
Yeah, I think you would be.
I'm not sure he'd get on with my friend Emma Wood, you see, whereas I think Ronnie and Emma would get on. Okay, from Sarah Golf 72.
Yeah.
She has said, absolutely love listening. Please continue, just you two. Great content too.
No guests.
There's
No
no chance
danger
of
of
anybody
any
else
guests.
joining us at this stage. Most memorable moment of Ascot 2025. Well, you just need to listen.
To the last pod.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jamie Kidd, 1997. Young man. Jamie.
Young man.
Thoughts on the whole socks versus sandals debate, yay or nay? You know people who wear socks with their sandals?
Okay, so socks on their own or socks with sandals?
No, I think it's the people who wear the socks in the sandal.
Is that allowed? What, do we have to say if we like that or not?
I think we need to answer whether we like it or not.
No.
No, it'd be horrendous.
Horrendous.
It's like you're in hospital.
Take those socks off. Revolting.
Yeah.
No.
Foot out. Look at
What
me.
point of sandals is it that's hot and you're
Yeah, that's true.
and
that
then
is very
meant
true.
to be comfortable.
It's
so you
also
don't
quite
wear, to wear
hospital
socks.
vibes, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
Okay,
No.
it's an adamant no. From Faith 1122, top tips for someone new in the industry learning. I presume you mean in the racing industry as a whole, but we're obviously quite media focused. My top tip would be don't be afraid to ask what you think is a stupid question.
Okay.
I wasn't I wasn't a Nepo baby. I made that joke before. It's gone down badly before. But in all seriousness, when I first started in racing, I was just so naive, but I had to ask a load of questions. And actually it's the best thing ever because if you don't ask, you won't find out. So just ask. Don't think it's stupid. Just ask.
And actually, you never really know all the answers.
Oh.
Even as a Nepo baby. Even I don't know everything. So, yes, you have to keep asking. I think also get a foot in the door wherever you think you want to go. Go somewhere, meet people, just try and make a good impression from the bottom up. I would also say, especially in our industry, I do think it definitely helps to get like a good education. I think having a good command of the language, I think, is a real bonus.
Yeah, that's very true. Something that I really lack a lot of the time, actually.
You're doing all right, considering.
And the last one from Kelgar05. What do you believe that Cheltenham could learn from the success of Royal Ascot? That is actually quite a big subject.
That's quite hard.
Yeah, because it is an interesting one, though, because it's the point you've made in the question, is that Royal Ascot is one of the meetings of the year that is absolutely booming.
Well, attendances were up.
Attendance is up, viewing figures up.
Ish.
Okay.
Attendance is up. That's what's interesting, actually, about viewing figures, is that you get the bare numbers of how many people watched this year compared to last year, and you compared one day to another. But actually, the audience share is probably more important. The audience share was massively up this year. So of the people watching telly, a bigger percentage were watching this year than last year.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think that's more indicative of the fact that people don't really consume TV like they used to. Like now there's so many other options. There's like catch-ups and YouTubes and whatever else you want to kind of consume. But people don't watch telly like they used to. That's kind of
interesting. Yeah, audience share. I didn't realise that. That is interesting. But Cheltenham versus Royal Ascot, I don't know. I feel like it's a bigger discussion.
I don't know, because I haven't really done the whole customer experience thing at both. So I don't really know how one price point compares to another. I don't know if one's more kind of...
You can make the word up if you need to, like I
Well, Ascot, so with the fashion and with everything, it's deemed to be quite aspirational. That's the word. So maybe by keeping it really high-end and aspirational, it actually attracts more people. So I don't know.
I was talking to somebody this year about that, in the fact that they were saying, should they make it more accessible by lowering the dress code and etc., etc. But Ascot's brand is worth so much because they have consistently kept it, like you say, very aspirational, very top end, and they've not budged. And as soon as you start to budge on that, the value of the brand that is Royal Ascot starts to diminish, in my opinion.
But you have to still give people value for money. So as long as what they're getting is...
But they just put on a hell of a show. And Cheltenham, Ascot, an independent track. They can pile as much money as they want into the customer experience.
Yeah.
Not the same for Cheltenham, owned by the Jockey Club. Very different.
Yeah.
Complicated subject, though, to end.
Oh, yeah, feels like it's gone by in a flash. Helped by a rather healthy dose of gin and tonic.
On that note, I think that's us, done and dusted for another week.
Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for following. As always, remember to subscribe, to share.
Yeah.
Please spread the word amongst your friends. And keep listening. Keep watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.